So 2-minute practice is now complete by the looks. Both players nod to each other. I'm okay if you're okay, was that little nod. And how do you see this one going, Gavin?
Well, obviously, Koki Niwa doing really well earlier on to take out Germany's top player here, Dmitry Ovcharov. He needs to stay close into the table if he's got any chance against Zhendong. These big power exchanges at the rear of the table will be really tough for him to match.
First point to Zhendong. You mentioned the win of Koki Niwa against Ovcharov. Disappointing that was to the crowd, 8,000 German supporters. And it went to the 7th and final game. Niwa winning by the closest of margin, but it was a great game of table tennis, and table tennis was the winner. And Zhendong also beat a German player in the previous round. A great match. Ruben Filus, the defensive player, the 29-year-old from Germany. And that was a fantastic game, 4-2. Zhendong came through, but the entertainment value for the crowd was 10 out of 10. Meanwhile, Zhendong takes the first 4 points, has his 2 serves to come. Good long push there, loose wrist, cutting underneath the ball, heavy backspin. Zhendong was the winner of the Olympic Youth Games men's singles in 2014 in Nanjing. Beat Yuto Muramatsu, a teammate here of Koki Niwa. Japan have 2 players left in the men's singles. Koki Niwa in action here, and the next game on actually is the youngster Harimoto, the 13-year-old. They have medals in every other event. Mixed doubles, the gold. Men's doubles, the silver. Women's doubles, they're guaranteed a medal. We don't know what colour yet. And in the one that I've missed out, the women's singles, they got a bronze medal. Hirano. So it's just the men's event where they may not medal. They need one of their next 2 players, Niwa here, or Harimoto next, to win through to the semi-final. Medal guaranteed. What a performance by this Japanese team.
This first set, just getting away from Koki Niwa. Slow start from the Japanese player. But he was very good against Ovcharov in that final game. 3 sets all, been able to play as often as he could out to the wide Dmitry Ovcharov forehand. So under pressure, we know that this Japanese youngster can think very clearly.
Koki Niwa clawing his way back into this first game, but now he has to face the Zhendong serve. 4-0 down, he's got it back to 7-5. Oh, what a wonderful counter topspin. Anticipated well, he was stepping round the backhand to play that forehand topspin. Let's have a look if he went round. Yeah, he did, he gambled. He started to go around before Zhendong had committed himself to the diagonal. The gamble paid off. Again, he anticipated well, he got into position well, he went for the fast topspin down the line. It would have been a winner for sure. The tactics were very brave. And that's what you've got to be against the Chinese players, certainly the high-ranked ones, number 2 in the world. Go for it. Guided that ball well down the line. A little bit of wrist, there was quite a bit of topspin on it. Hits the top edge of Koki Niwa's bat, flies up into the Lights, there it goes.
So you can see in the opening stages, Koki Niwa, as he did in the match against Ovtcharov, getting a little bit of change when he goes out to the wide forehand.
Good combination there, the backhand and straight in with the forehand topspin. Takes it early, puts Fan Zhendong under a lot of pressure. Big point for Fan Zhendong here. Koki Niwa will have his 2 serves at the end of this first game. Chop block, came down on the ball, tremendous shot. Under a lot of pressure and he comes out with a shot like that.
It was unusual there as well, that chop block. It went really short on the table, and actually Fan Zhendong, if he wanted to make that shot round the net post, would have had to wait even longer for the ball to creep a bit wider.
Oh, that was a lovely shot, and I think Koki Niwa had committed himself to play the forehand from the backhand side. Called running round blind, taking a gamble, hoping the ball's going to come down that corner, so you can play your forehand from the backhand side. Game point, Fan Zhendong. Let's serve. No problems, just take the serve again. And again, what a great backhand return of serve. Coming across wide to the forehand to return with the backhand on the diagonal. First game to Fan Zhendong, 11-9. We'll be back for the second game shortly. Niwa, when he was serving with no spin. The float service quite frequently. That basically is inviting the flick so we can get into topspin versus topspin. I would have thought the backspin serve, and let's have a little bit of short play, and then Koki Niwa in against the push ball would have been a better tactic. I don't know what you think, Gavin.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you would think in the open, big, fast rallies, that's going to suit Fan Zhendong. So going or opting for some tighter chop serves would definitely suit Koki Niwa. I would say he's got a little bit more of the deft touch around the net.
Good forehand topspin from Niwa there. Very short, very compact. Fan Zhendong changed his mind there. He was going across to return with the backhand. I think he realised he couldn't get there, so he quickly adjusted his footwork, played the forehand topspin, but the change in mind resulted in him losing the point. And that's a classic example, short pushing exchange. Niwa coming in against the push ball. (4-2), Japan lead. The reverse action service there, the bat going away from the body, brushing underneath the ball, brushing across the side of the ball to vary the spin. It looked like he went underneath the ball there, so that'd be backspin and side spin. 2 out of 2. Interesting there, I think we saw one of the Japanese spectators wearing a mask, and I was asking about were they worried about the pollution, but in fact it's tradition in Japan. If you have a cold yourself, you wear a mask, so you're less likely to spread the germs, which is a very considerate thing to do. And there's the young lady there, actually Chinese it looks like. She's got the Chinese flag, but the same principle. Ooh, that wasn't far off. Always got to watch them. Nothing worse turning round to your corner. I've won the point, and then all of a sudden you hear it hit the table behind you.
Better play that though from Koki Niwa. You just feel that's the sort of rally you would fancy him to be in the ascendancy. Touch, touch. Keep the fan Zhendong, big forehands and backhands out.
Oh, that's world class. Koki Niwa did well. We'll see on the replay. Here's Niwa, he goes round, he plays a good top spin, but just look at that. First you've got to have the reactions, then you've got to have the ability to take that ball off the bounce. Eight-5. I've not seen a lot of Niwa play. I've watched him in a few games. Is he as pumped up as he normally? I seem to remember him being a little bit more aggressive, whether he's just consciously staying calm, just taking every point as it comes. In the doubles, the two Japanese players were fighting and shouting and screaming when they won points. Highly motivated, highly vocal. Koki Niwa seems fairly subdued. Maybe that's his normal, his modus operandi.
Yeah, he's quite a calm individual, but he did get the adrenaline going against Dmitry Ovtcharov though, and a couple of times it was the double-fisted shows in the air, and no, he was quite animated, certainly for his personality.
He faces 4 game points now. And that's a great forehand topspin. That's been his best shot of the match so far. Staying close to the table, constructing a rally so that he can get that forehand topspin in off the bounce. Fan Zhendong in with the topspin, 11-7. Fan Zhendong leads by 2 games to 0. Wang Hao looks reasonably relaxed. We'll be back for the 3rd game very soon. Third game, Fan Zhendong to serve. Heavy backspin on the service, loose grip. A lot of wrist action going underneath the ball, heavy backspin. Touch play, and in with the first topspin is what Koki Niwa needs. And a few edge balls will be very useful. Very quickly acknowledges his good fortune. You'll see here Koki Niwa, there he goes on the diagonal, and this is the one. No, it's not, it's this one coming up. There it is, off the side of the table. It's the norm now at this top level when the ball's short on your forehand or mid-table to come across and return with a backhand. You see that more often than players are actually returning it with the forehand.
A little bit better there. Little mix of serving, change placements. When someone's coming in and backhand flicking you out the park, like Fan Zhendong's been doing, it's important to change the placements. Short, Shot to the forehand, long to the backhand, fast into the middle so that he can't get on top of those shots.
Hit that backhand quite flat, Fan Zhendong. Straight through the ball rather than brushing the ball. And then we just have a look at the distribution, the match rally bounce area for Koki. And there we have it for Fan Zhendong. And just look at that 48%. Going out to the corner. Chop block, didn't quite pull it off this time. Five points each. That's where he's good. Whipping that forehand topspin off the bounce. He's missed very few. I'm waiting for the first celebration at the moment. He's very calm, very relaxed. Fan Zhendong there, punching the air with his fist. There it goes, straight down the line.
He's been successful with that 2 or 3 occasions now. He goes out to the wide forehand. So many players, when they go out to the wide forehand, lose a little bit of ground from the table. Fan Zhendong actually moves across and slightly forwards to the ball. That's what you should do.
Lifting what he thought was backspin. There wasn't the backspin there to lift, so the ball goes off the end of the table. It's very good deception. And the Japanese coach on his feet. Timeout called. Of course, this third game crucial for Koki Niwa. If he goes 3-0 down against Fan Zhendong, he's got to win 4 out of 4 games, and that's going to be a big mountain to climb. So the coach obviously appreciating the importance of this situation for the Japanese player, hoping to break the momentum. Although there's not a lot of momentum, it's sort of nip and tuck this game. 1 point, 1 point. They're alternating the lead fairly frequently. So I don't know what you think, Gavin. Good timeout?
Yeah, fair enough. But you know, from Koki Niwa's perspective, he needs to keep spraying the serves around, because if Fan Zhendong continues to get this backhand flick and he's dominating and he's dictating right from the start of the rally. Often you find as well, someone's backhand flicking you out of the park, you have to think, right, maybe I can do the same to my opponent.
So Fan Zhendong, 1 serve left in this sequence of 2, and here it comes, 7-6, China lead. Koki Niwa was again chancing his arm. He was stepping round the backhand side to get in with that forehand. Fan Zhendong went down the line. Good tactics, but he overcooked it. Strong backhand from the forehand side of the table on the return of serve.
What he's trying to do there, though, he's trying to match a good shot with another good shot. You don't need to do that. Fan Zhendong hits a great backhand flick. Why not give him a lollipop block back? You know, you don't need to play a big fast shot against a big fast shot. That's when sometimes you can come unstuck.
He certainly does it quite a lot, Niwa, stepping round the backhand side. He's doing it again. We'll just see on the replay. Just watching carefully. There he goes. Just leaves himself completely exposed down the line. Two game points for China. Koki Niwa has the lifeline that it's his service, but he has to win both points. Given half the chance, he's in. He takes it early, backhand and forehand. The backhand from Fan Zhendong didn't have a lot of pace on the ball, gave Niwa the time he needed. But there it is, the service slightly long. And a good backhand topspin from Fan Zhendong. 3-0, China lead. And the fourth will start shortly, and we'll be back for that. Interesting there on the shot placements from Fan Zhendong. There was a lot more out wide to Koki Niwa's forehand. That's because he knows Koki Niwa was keen to run round and play forehand from the backhand side of the table. So Fan Zhendong playing tactically an astute game. I'm amazed how many serves have drifted over the white line, which allows Fan Zhendong then to play a good length shot, get some power on in the ball, instead of making him play over the table.
Come on, that's unbelievable. I mean, Fan Zhendong matching Koki Niwa's forehand with his backhand.
What we were talking about before, little pushing rallies. Koki Niwa gets in against the push ball, wins the point, 3-1 lead. Again, push to start the rally. Koki Niwa wins the point. That's a lovely shot, that's a great touch. Wasn't a million miles from making that. Another couple of inches higher, that would have rolled across the table. Clever serve. Short serves and then the occasional long fast one. Perfect tactics.
And he's keeping it to chop, so that then if Fan Zhendong did attack, he's got to lift the backspin up over the net. That takes a little bit more time, and then Koki Niwa can play over the top of that ball aggressively.
Still to show any emotion as Koki Niwa, maybe he used all that up this morning in his quarter-final win against Ovtcharov, which of course was the 11-9 in the 7th game, I believe. Oh, what an angle. Of course, here we've spoken about it. I know it's not all about rankings, but certainly the higher you rank, the more confidence that you have. And here, I think you were saying, Gavin, we're playing for 3 times normal points that you acquire. You acquire points by playing in tournaments around the world. But here, there's a bonus factor, 3 times as many points, and then a bonus system for how far you get in the tournament. So Koki Niwa's win against Ovtcharov would be big points.
And that will put him on the list that will come out on Tuesday or Wednesday morning, I believe. That'll put him comfortably in the top 10 in the world.
A win here would really whiz him up the list, but it's not looking as though that's going to happen, although he is 3-0 down, but he is 7-5 up in the 4th game. Again, that backhand out wide to Niwa's forehand, paying dividends. Again, clawing his way back, Fan Zhendong. Oh, what a good shot there. Laid the wrist back. And the ball going out wide to Koki Niwa's forehand, as opposed to down the backhand where Niwa thought it was going. So 7 points each. That's Niwa at his best, isn't it? When it's a topspin to topspin, he takes the ball so early. A little bit of backspin on that return of serve there. He sort of came under the ball. It was a... You described that to me, Gavin, that return of serve.
That was a little slow, flat flick. And by the time the ball actually arrives at Fan Zhendong, it has nothing. It has no momentum on it, which then means in turn that Fan Zhendong has to generate his own power.
That backhand return of serve from the forehand side of the table has worked ever so well for Fan Zhendong throughout this match. 9-8, and remember, Fan Zhendong will have his 2 serves at the end of this 4th game, so this point crucial for Niwa. That gives him a definite chance now. Fan Zhendong has to take both serves with the service to keep this 4th game alive. 2 game points, Japan. And there it is. Niwa takes the 4th game, 11 points to 8. It's now 3-1. The players back to the corners, and we'll be back when the 5th game commences. Fifth game, Fan Zhendong to serve the ball. That was a weird and wonderful return, a sort of long backspin, side spin push from the old days. That I used to play shots like that.
Trying to mix it up. He's trying to give Fan Zhendong zero rhythm. High ball, side spin ball, chop block, side spin.
Again, that forehand from the backhand side, ever so reliable for Fan Zhendong. Oh. I think the umpire's called a let serve. A little bit unfortunate for Koki Niwa. There you can see the hand very clearly up in the air. And so now Fan Zhendong, 2 serves to come, leads 3-1. It's a bit adventurous there, the chop block, a long, fast forehand, backhand. It was a forehand topspin from Fan Zhendong. Difficult chop, difficult to do the chop block.
doesn't believe, does he? He's just needs to get himself fired up somehow.
With that 59% short on the left-hand side of the table, as we look at the table, that's short to the forehand. And what's frustrating for me is when Koki Niwa's playing tactically well, he's got the ammunition, he's got a great backhand and forehand topspin, but he's just not really believed at any stage that he's going to win this. I think he was quite surprised when he pinched the game there. That was the impression I got. Lack of self-belief. Maybe emotionally, playing this morning and beating Ovtcharov, in such an epic game, has just taken a little bit too much out of him. But you should be able to pick yourself up. If you're going to win a tournament, you have to have a big win, and then you've got to forget it, recompose, and come back for the next one. "22 years of age. I mentioned earlier that he was somewhat of a child prodigy, Koki Niwa. At the young age of 11, he was in the Japanese under-18 team. And Fan Zhendong, of course, was an outstanding youngster as well, winning the Olympic Youth Games in 2014, some 3 years ago in Nanjing. It's interesting, isn't it? In some sports you can start quite late and become a world champion. In rowing you can take it up late, in cycling, quite a few of the Olympic sports. When would you say you've got to be a top-class player? If you're not a top-class player by what age are you not going to make it as a top-class player?
I think a lot of these guys, they are world-class juniors as well. So, yeah, you've got to be playing the game, I would say, from 13, 14 years old.
To a high level, at a high level at 13, 14.
Yeah, definitely.
Five match points for China.
The exception to that obviously being Werner Schlager.
That's a good point.
Still outside the top 200 in the world in his 20s, and then strided through. But
then I'm thinking of the Voldners, the Gatiens, the Roscoffs, the Pearsons. All very good junior players, all European junior champions in one shape or another. A match point save by Koki Niwa. There it is. A relatively comfortable victory for Fan Zhendong. He wins the fifth game 11-6. He's through by 4 games to 1. He's through to the semi-final of the World Championships here in Dusseldorf. And Japan's Koki Niwa. His tournament comes to a conclusion. But he'll be, when he reflects, quarter-final, did better than his seeding suggests. So well done, Niwa.